Welcome back to There's No Christmas Without the Cross for day 18. You guys, a week from today is Christmas. And it might snow. So I'm pretty excited about both those things. But today, we're going to talk about Daniel 7, specifically 13 and 14. But I kind of have to admit up front, Daniel's a hard book for me. It's hard for me to read. It's hard for me to understand. And I don't spend as much time as I probably should delving into it. I almost skipped this one and put a different prophecy in. And I really felt God's voice saying, you need to understand this. So let's dive into the scripture. And I am reading this from the Jewish Bible. Daniel 7 verses 13 and 14. I kept watching the night visions when I saw coming with the clouds of heaven someone like a son of man. He approached the Ancient One and was led into his presence. To him was given rulership, glory, and a kingdom, so that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His rulership is an eternal rulership that will not pass away, and his kingdom is one that will never be destroyed. There is so much hope in these two verses. And when you go back to the beginning of his vision, it reads like this in 7, starting with 2. I had a vision at night. I saw there before me 4 winds of the sky breaking out over the great sea, and 4 huge animals come up out of the sea, each different from the other. The first was like a lion, but it had eagle's wings. As I watched, its wings were plucked off, and it was lifted off the earth and made to stand on 2 feet like a man, and a human heart was given to it. Then there was another animal, a second one like a bear. It raised itself up on one side, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. It was told, get up and gorge yourself with flesh. After this, I looked, and there was another one like a leopard with 4 birds' wings on its side. The animal also had 4 heads, and it was given power to rule. After this, I looked in the night visions, and there before me was the 4th animal, dreadful, horrible, extremely strong, and with great iron teeth. It devoured and crushed and stamped its feet on what was left. It was different from all the other animals that had gone before it, and it had 10 horns. It goes on to describe some other things, but to me, that's a nightmare. It's chaos. It's so hard to understand. Some of my research told me that the 4th beast, the horrible one, the destructive one, it corresponds with the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire then, and also a more complete picture of it will come about later in history that hasn't even happened yet. So the key to understanding this is, if we had read on, it talks about the 10 horns like human eyes and a mouth speaking arrogantly. This is identified as the Antichrist. That will come at some point before Jesus's final victory. So this is just it's so difficult for me to understand. And I read a lot, and I took a lot of notes, and typically during our videos, I pull from the notes things I didn't use in the book. There's so much on this that it's hard for me to pick and choose what. But here's what I want to focus on, because at the end of the day, and it's very similar to what's in the book, what what is said in the verses that are our verses today, the prophecy that we read today. The point of that is this. God is in those two verses. He is the Ancient of Days, the one who's always been here. And the Son of Man, Jesus, is mentioned in the verses for today. And basically, the Son of Man is going to, when he rules, there will be no chaos in the world. All the chaos that we see now, and more chaos to come, if you can even imagine that. There is more chaos coming. And Jesus has already taken care of that, and he will take care of it again. But the second time that he takes care of it will be the final time. And the Antichrist and Satan and all the realm of evil that causes so much of the spiritual warfare, causes us to question things and wonder about things and doubt ourselves and doubt God. That's all gone. And that's what it's saying here. To him was given rulership, glory, and a kingdom, so that all peoples, nations, and languages would serve him. His rulership is an eternal rulership. This will not pass away. His kingdom is one that will never be destroyed. And right now, all the death and destruction and war and earthquakes and volcanoes and all the things that we're seeing will be no more when he rules for eternity. And that is the point of all of the ugliness. And we can understand the chaos because we live in chaos today. And this vision was very chaotic. But at the end of the day, God is on his throne. God is who he says he is. He always keeps his promises. And we can count on him today and then to rule for an eternity to come. And this prophecy is fulfilled in Matthew 26, verse 64, where it said, "You have said it," Jesus told him, "but I tell you, in the future, you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven." And we can go back, we can go to Revelation and find verses to support that as well. So tomorrow is day 19, if you can imagine it. We're going to talk about expectations we have and expectations that the Israelites had. Until then, have a wonderful day.